Hi there, this is Raj. I just thought I'll do a quick video on explaining how to use AI in our lives. Now, I'll be doing this video once every week to help everybody at Goodman Lantern to really get better at using AI. A lot of this might involve ChatGPT-like tools. They're called large language models, LLMs, and these are very powerful tools to help us out. Now, the thing is, a lot of us don't really understand exactly how can we use these tools in our lives, and that's super important to become more efficient and more effective every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down for all of us to make life much easier. I want to first start with a very basic concept, which I think will be very helpful to you to understand, which is the difference between the different chat GPTs. So there's chat GPT 3, 3.5, 4. What's the difference? So here in front of you, I've got this very quick first introduction level, which is that chat GPT 3 or chat GPT when it initially began was about 3,000 word limit. Now you can put 25,000 word limit in there. That means I can put more words to kind of get more relevant information as training. These are often called tokens. So about one token is about 4 words roughly. So that's how it can accept more training data. I'm going to show you exactly how that works in a second. Also, in terms of ChatGPT 3 versus ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4 is trained over with 100 billion tokens, which is about, let's call it about 400 billion words. ChatGPT 3 is trained with less tokens, almost 5 times less. So as you can see, that it is a lot more information you can do with it. Actually, I was wrong. It's more than 50x less tokens used. ChatGPT 3 was ChatGPT 4. So ChatGPT 4 is much more comprehensive. It does minimal mistakes, and it can tell you if the data which you requested for is available or not. So it's really good to use ChatGPT 4 if you would just know. Now, what I'm going to talk about in this particular tutorial situation is I'm going to show you where can it be really helpful. So to really help you explain this, I'm going to just kind of showcase a case of a medical scenario. And this is a extreme scenario where, I mean, I'm not a medical professional. I don't really understand what's going on here. And I want to really understand this. Really important from the point of view of a customer. So the customer sends you tons of reports, for example, which they want to be read before we kind of go in to a meeting, or for example, you require to create this document for a customer in the back of these different documents. Now, if the document is readable, it's like an online format or an e-format, it's easy. But what if you have an image like this, which you can't select, for instance? What do you do then? Well, there's a technique I used in previously to figure out clients' data very quickly. So what I did was I copy pasted. So I just I just took the image, download the image into a computer, or just copy paste this image like this over here, and then I went into a tool called image to text, and I copied that tool, that image here like this. Click on submit, and then I got all the text here in a easy readable format. So what I've done here is I've taken like images and made them into text, and I can put that into ChatGPT. Um, what I suggest is when you go to see a customer, always that kind of get the summaries done. I'm going to show you an example as well in a second of how I've used this summary for even before I go into a meeting with the customer to understand how they are, who they are, right? So let me quickly do this. I'm going to just quickly copy to clipboard. I can put that into this. Now over here I have two options, ChatGPT 3.5 or 4. Just using ChatGPT 4, and I can say over here summarize this text, and you'll see this will give you something, but maybe it's not as helpful. So I'll show you how to make this more useful and quick to digest. So let's pause it for a second, and I'll come back again to this video. Right, as you can see here, ChatGPT 4 has given me the summary of this, which is probably as difficult to read. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask it to summarize the report. in a tabular form and also provide uh, the significance uh, to so now I've asked it to give me significance as well. So I asked for it to make a tabular form, which is a really important part. Like the more you can ask for tabular format, I asked for table forms for every output I ever get from ChatGPT, and also ask it to provide significance as well to a lemon. And that way, what it can do is it'll give you a summary of the data in a way which is human understandable. So we don't need to really be a medical professional to understand this. So first of all, you can see summarizing all the information here, and is giving suggestions on what can be made. What is it really that it can do. So it's simplified this for me a bit more, um, and this is the significance for layman. So I can also ask it to now to convert this into the tabular format for even for the significance as well. So it'll then give me all this stuff one by one. Again, this is called prompting or prompt engineering. The big bulky part of this ChatGPT is prompt engineering. The more we can do prompt engineering properly, the more we can get better information. I also want to share something else with you as well. So I'm going to do this table again for you in a second. But before I do that, I also want to say sometimes the text we create, this is easily available and easily be digestible in like one prompt. What if the data which you collect from here is much larger? What do we do then? Well, then we just copy the text from here, use a tool called ChatGPT Splitter. When you do this ChatGPT Splitter, it splits all the content into smaller units. And if you click on process, it'll actually give us different data. So it'll give you like chunks of data you can copy and paste into ChatGPT. You can copy, paste, copy and paste, copy and paste them all exhausted, and then put in the prompt. So it will have all the data of 25,000 tokens worth of data already available up front, after which you can ask for a complete guide or help like we did right now. That's another tool, ChatGPT-splitter.com, which you can use as well. So let me do this. Let me go back to the table and make it even more understandable. So I'm just going to pause this video and I'm going to write the right prompt, and you'll see and make the output much easier. So as you can see now, I've updated the table. I added a new prompt to break down the table information into rows of data. I put information, observation, name and explanation, significant challenge. So if it's a big challenge, it'll be 10, and if it's no challenge, it'll be 0. So medication, regular appropriate intake of medication, not really big a challenge, but diet, high salt intake, frequent consumption of pickled food, that's a big challenge. So ChatGPT and AI and large language models like ChatGPT are not a database. They are a logic engine. So we can use ChatGPT like tools to help us with logic as opposed to helping us with the database of what happened when, for example. You can feed it with data and it can tell you what makes sense. So it's really an intelligence engine. It's not really an engine to provide us with data, which happened in the past. It works with that as well, but it really is to be used as a intelligence mechanism. So put the data in and help you analyze better.